Okay, good afternoon. Let's get stuck into a few things. We've got a round of footy to discuss. Some issues that have cropped up. It was a pretty good weekend all around, really. And so, yeah. So just getting this started again. All right. Got some milestones to acknowledge. We've got 4 boundary umpires, a couple that had their first Div 1 game last weekend, and a couple that are doing their first men's Division 1 game this Saturday. So Zach Bald, Joe McGee, Cade Vancertest, and Alex Wicker, and names that I've never heard of before. So it shows you a little bit about our boundary umpiring panel at the moment. We have about 90 new boundary umpires. It is unbelievable what's happening with that group this year. So yeah, keeping Ray and Neil and the boundary umpiring coaches very busy. 50th game this week, Scott Beckham, Paul Craig, and Brody Lees, all field umpires. 100th game, I saw him online, Dave Lokel. He was a club umpire, so he did a few more as a clubby, but since he's been with us, he's getting his 100th this weekend. So well done, Dave, and 200 games to Josh Biggs on the boundary. So well done to all you guys. All right, just going to touch on dangerous tackles. I know it's a fairly popular topic to discuss. I'm going to show an example of that Athelston TikTok that keeps popping up with different clips that featured me a few weeks ago. There was another one that was actually shown a couple of weeks ago, and I thought it was a good example to show the group. So let me just bring it up, and I'll put it in the coaching notes, of course. Let's just see if we can get it up here. All right, so you might not be able to see it that well on the Zoom, but as I said, I'll share the link in the coaching notes, but I'll just let it run. So a free kick for a dangerous tackle was paid there. Shit to the Adelaide Uni coaches bench that were unhappy, complaining about it. Terrible decision, wah, wah, wah. We had all these nuffies wanting to make comments on TikTok about how soft it is and having a complaint. I think it was a great decision. And I wish we would pay more. I just think if there's anything about a tackle where a player is taking the ground that concerns you, if there's any lift, dumping, or slinging motion, that was certainly a slinging motion in that tackle, at least pay a free kick, especially early in the game, because it sets the scene. So if you see a tackle that's taken the ground that concerns you in any way, shape, or form, pay a free kick. Obviously, the more serious ones, we look at yellow or red cards. But a free kick for an incident like that is perfect. That's the type of free kick I want us to pay, and I think we can pay more of. And players, they want to injure, they like, but if they're going to take a player to ground, they're risking a penalty, and that's the way our game is going. So you can say, you like footy the way it used to be. Too bad. Footy has changed, and we need to adapt. So a lot of you guys do a really good job of it, but I just thought I'd show that clip and get you guys to have a look at that. And just as we discussed a few weeks ago when I did a game with Adam Harris, there was a tackle that I thought the player showed enough care in taking him to ground, but Adam thought there was enough for a dangerous tackle free kick. The umpire that thinks there's something dangerous about the tackle takes precedence. And I would much rather an unwarranted soft dangerous tackle than a missed dangerous tackle. So I was really happy with Adam paying her that day. And I think if you get overruled as a dangerous tackle, don't be offended by it. The team rule is if either of you think it's a dangerous tackle, then that one needs the umpire that sees it as a dangerous tackle needs to pay it. Any questions or comments on any of that? Okay. We have come a long way with that area of the game, and I think AFL cracking down on it has helped us. The general expectation from the football community is that we do take action, and so yeah, as I said, general philosophy, err on the side of paying a dangerous tackle if there's any concerns. All right, we've had some issues with umpires either getting contacted when they're backing out from a throw up, or I've noticed on some video reviews that they throw the ball up and look behind them before they run back, which obviously means they're taking their eyes off the ball. So what I want you to get in the habit of doing is, when you do a throw up and you're aware that there's players behind you, make sure you communicate with them, tell them that you're backing out and they need to create some space. Just signaling and throwing your arms back doesn't do the trick. The players aren't watching you. You need to actually use your voice. And so clear that path and make sure they're aware of it. And then once you've done that, you can then throw the ball up, and you need to back out with the confidence that you've got a clear path behind you and that you can keep your eyes focused on the ruck contest rather than looking behind. And hopefully, if we do that consistently, we'll have less umpires getting contacted from a ball up, because I know it does happen a bit. And it also means that we all can be more confident with not looking behind us after we throw the ball up. Okay, I mentioned before we've got a bunch of new boundary umpires this year. But the way we've been making sure they all get a game is been running some 3 umpire systems. And last week we had almost 20 games with 3 boundary umpires in it, which was amazing. It just keeps on building and building. As a result, we've contacted the clubs, and we're going to be providing league-appointed boundary umpires into Division 3 reserves this week. So the reason we're not doing Division 3 A grade is because all these new boundary umpires are, or a lot of them are very young. They're developing. Some of them can't throw in to the required standard for A grade footy. Certainly, we want to try and pick the ones that throw are well enough that for men's footy in B grade. But if you are doing a game where you can see the boundary umpire is young and developing, and they perhaps don't throw as far as they probably normally would, then encourage that umpire to come in, and then also explain to the ruckman that the throw-in's not going to go as far as they normally would. So make sure they're aware before the throw-in occurs and they can come in. But exciting that we've got so many new boundary umpires. As I said, Neil and Ray are doing an absolutely amazing job, and all the clubs were pretty chuffed with the fact that they've got one less thing to worry about this week, and they're more than happy to have B grade boundary umpires supplied in Division 3. We've got skill drills this week, so we do it 4 times a year with me. This is the 3rd time we're doing it this year. So for 1st and 2nd year field umpires and anyone else that wants to join in, this Wednesday night at training, so bring along a whistle for that. And in the next couple of days, any field umpire that's been observed by a coach will receive the written feedback, just their summary of what the coaches have hopefully spoken to you about. If you've got any concerns about any of that feedback, you can either speak to the coach directly, or if you really need to, come to me. But really just take on board what you want to, what you need to. If you strongly disagree with anything that's being said to you, you can choose to politely ignore it if you wish. But we've got some coaches that really do know what they're talking about and doing it with the best intentions. So take on board some messaging and try and improve your performances if there's stuff there that they point out. And that is all I've got on my list before we get to the coaching video. Has anyone got anything on anything they want to say on any of that, or anything that happened on the weekend they want to raise? Andrew Story, do you want to unmute yourself? I can see you're online. Andrew Story?
Yeah, I'm on, Cole. I'm driving, but yeah, I'm on. Yep.
Mate, I just want you to explain what happened on the weekend. I'll tell everyone about the follow-up, but it's something that I've never heard of in my time of umpiring. And when I heard it from James Pascalis, who you're umpiring with on the weekend, I had to ring you on Sunday morning to confirm it actually happened. Just tell the group what happened on Saturday.
Well, we went into the rooms to talk to the Brahma Lodge coach, and he was just finishing addressing his players, so they were all sitting on the ground in front of him. And then I just asked him if there's anything he wanted clarity on, or introduced myself and James, and just to see if there's anything we could do to help. And he looked at me and he says, "We just want a fair go." And I thought, "Oh, okay." And then he pointed at James, who was standing behind me, and said, "We've had you the last 3 or 4 weeks, and you're the most biased umpire I've ever seen." And James and I thought he was initially, we were like, "What is going on here? This guy can't be for real." But he was deadly serious. And so I quelled the situation down and explained, we were there to do a job, and told his players that you don't need to worry about all that sort of crap. And so we got out of there as fast as we could. But I've never seen it. And then right at the end of the game, one of their players came up to me when I was on the field and he said, "Have you ever seen a coach speak to umpires like that before a game?" And I said, "I've never seen that ever." And he said, "Neither have I." And he said, "It doesn't represent the club." And so, since then, I think that coach is no longer.
That's true. I sent you the email today. So it was quite incredible. And two of the Brahma Lodge players during the game ended up getting reported for umpire abuse. You'd have to think that the coach carrying on like that before the game didn't help that situation. And it's a pity because Brahma Lodge have been a much improved club this year. They've really got out of their way to make things better. And I've had some positive feedback from umpires been out there. But yeah, that was quite bizarre. So you never know what's going to happen. And yes, as Andrew alluded to, the coach is no longer. So whether there was some pressure from the club or not, I know the president wasn't happy. And I think he actually quit halfway through the game. So he had a bad day. But yes, I think both Andrew and James conducted themselves really well, really professionally. Could have been easy to get into a real slanging match with him, but they just reacted calmly and professionally. And went out there to umpire the game, and then when issues did arise, they were able to deal with it in the right way. So well done, and yeah, thanks for sharing. Anyone else want to share anything that happened on the weekend or bring anything up? All right, Merrick.
Thanks for keeping me at Tea Tree Gully, Carl. Best game I've umpired in about 5 years, I reckon.
What a belter of a game! They reckon they had a huge crowd there.
I reckon there would have been over 1,000 there, I reckon.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. But first time those guys have played each other for a while. So big day for them. All right, let's get on to the coaching video. And hopefully you guys have had a chance to have a look. All right. Michael Jensky, can you unmute yourself?
How are you, Colin?
Hey, mate. Have you had a chance to have a look at the video?
Yes, about 5 minutes ago.
Very good. You can take us through the first one.
All right, mate.
An interesting decision.
Out. They managed to snap it forward. It's 2-on-1. There's an extra Goodwood defender around the ball, but the high lopping snap was unpredictable to many. Umpire didn't call that one high contact in spite of the pleas from Prince Alfred, but it will be holding the ball, and that'll be good enough for them. Thought that was a great decision, Ed.
All right, what did you make of that one?
Well, my first impression was that he ducked, but there was a bit of high contact. But he's not a very good actor, so it was the right decision. He dived into the tackle, and it wasn't very hard. So he wasn't very good actor. So it was the right decision holding the ball.
Yeah,
that was.
He went down like a sack of shit. So I guess that the key about that one is his head is coming up, and then he sees the player coming towards him, and he then puts his head back down. So if his head was down and not yet up, and the front-on contact occurred, you'd want to pay a high contact. And if someone had paid high contact in that scenario and erred on the side of the ball player, I wouldn't lose any sleep. So if any of you on the line thought that was a high contact free kick, I wouldn't be marking that wrong if I was assessing it. However, I think what Chris did on the day, he got it right, where he did see that the player put his head up and then came back down, didn't pay the high tackle, therefore waited to see if he make a genuine attempt. He was too busy pretending like he was knocked out, and rightfully paid holding the ball. So actually good, strong umpiring in that instance. Mark Goods, are you able to unmute yourself?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, you've had a look at the
I
video?
have. Yep.
Beauty. All right. See what you think about this one.
Unbelievable work, fantastic work from Greenacres. Really sums up this dominant last quarter they had. He was actually looking for his 6th goal, and what would have been the easiest. Oh no, he's given away a free kick here for shoving the opponent off the ball. So now they will get a goal. They will get a goal, but it won't go to Miguel.
All right. What'd you make of all that?
I made that was a flop. I wouldn't have paid a free kick. I certainly wouldn't have paid a free kick in the goal square to get a goal for that.
Okay, we asked you this because you gave me the same answer last year and we told you were wrong. And you're 100% wrong there as well. So,
okay.
Look, at the end of the day, if it's we're about to see another one coming up where there is an obvious flop. There's enough there's enough force in that push for a free kick to be paid, and that's where we have to take no shit. Otherwise, we get the players taking it into their own hands. So if you see something minimal force and they're the ones that cause them to go back, then by all means you don't pay it. But that's a strong push.
I reckon if I pushed you, Colin, at that rate, you wouldn't fall over.
Well,
would you have fallen over at that push if I pushed you like that?
I reckon that's a strong enough push. I don't think you'll get much support from the other umpires on that one.
Okay.
And I just think we need to take no shit in those instances. I think it was perfectly handled. What did you think of the Mitch Hinge free kick on Saturday night?
Yeah, that was a free kick. That was with some force though.
Yeah,
that was very forceful. This was a push.
I would say there's enough force in that one as well.
Okay.
So anyway, well, I agree to disagree on that, but yeah, I did ask you because I remember we asked something similar last year.
Yeah, that's a big penalty. That's a goal there. That's a goal from that.
It doesn't matter. It's either a free kick or not, wherever it is.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Next one, Dave Lockel. I did see you online.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, mate.
Yep. Okay.
All right. Have you had a chance to watch it yet?
I have.
Very good. You're all doing the homework. It doesn't take long to watch the first 3 decisions. All right. Okay, what'd you make of it?
Yeah, so I think the decision's correct, and I particularly like the fact that there was from that bump as well. Was he bumped in that one?
Yeah.
Yes, bump. That was to me the great decision there, because the first guy comes in, he infringes in the protected area, and the player with the ball has noticed it actually is delayed play. So I just see that as absolutely worthwhile as a 25. But then even infringing on the player trying to go forward to take the 25, there's a bump. Have another 25. That was a really good decision again.
Yep, spot on. So I guess the instruction is we're going to the protected zone, that we don't want to be too technical about it. If they're sort of wandering slightly into protected zone and they don't impact on play, we don't pay it. But in that instance there, he's actually caused the player with the ball to stop and look around and what the hell are you doing here? And he was like, he went straight into the protected zone where he didn't need to. So a good 25 initially, and then you're right, he has been impacted by the bump and stopped getting to the next active play, and so another 25 was paid. So 3 examples where I thought the umpiring was excellent, and yeah, well summarised up. All right, let's go on to some marking contest free kicks. Marking contest can be difficult because what's holding your body and what's pushing the other player out. There's some tips that you can think of when you're working out whether it's a free kick or not. So if it is an early jump, if they touch the ball, it can be counted as a realistic attempt. If they don't touch the ball, then it's an unrealistic attempt. And the other aspect of paying a free kick is, do they contact the opposition player if they're jumping early? You can jump early and not touch the ball, but if you don't really contact the player, then it will be play on. But in these examples here, there is enough for free kicks. So early jump, doesn't touch the ball, lands on the ground, puts the other player out of the contest. Good free kick. Again, jumps early, contacts the player, puts him out of the contest, doesn't touch the ball. Another good marking interference free kick. So we're looking for the obvious and blatant. Don't need to go looking for free kicks. In this instance here, there's obvious contact, stops the player marking, not going for the ball. And an obvious and blatant free kick.
Have a chance to go inside 50, and if your leader's coming up, draw out the defender and they go to the top of the square. Worrell's there.
So in that one there, there's an arm over the shoulder or even a hold that brings the player down. So you've got to wonder why the player in front isn't marking the ball. This is the next cue. Why can't the player mark the ball? You should be asking that to yourself if the other player has put them out of the contest. Then there's a free kick warranted. So that one there, late to the contest, contacts him. Now there you go, Mark. There's your example of a player flopping. This is one where let's go have a look. In that case, there, you wouldn't want to pay a 25 for that. So I'm happy. Have a happy in that case. It's a clear flop. Now just a point about marking contest. I get this comment. I had it on the weekend again from players that just don't know the rule. So you know, I paid a marking interference against the player, and he said, but the ball was within 5 meters. Most of you would be aware that the 5 meter rule is only when the ball's on the ground. If it's in general contest, they're allowed to bump, shepherd an opponent and keep them out of the contest. But with a marking contest, when it's in the air, everyone has to be going for the ball, whether the ball is within 5 meters or not. There's no shepherding or bumping allowed in a marking contest. Different rules for contest the ball on the ground or a marking contest. So the only reason you really wouldn't pay a marking interference free kick is if they're holding the ground. So in that case there, you might need to have a look at that again. We'll just replay it. You'll see to the side, there's a
15 seconds to go.
The number 28 comes in, a bump, puts the Pembroke player out of the contest. Really good pickup. I think it's Iggy. I think he's way too far away there. His positioning's not great, but he did well to pick the free kick out. He's got a nice side on position, but he's too far away. So the eyes on the no eyes on the footy is a trigger. It doesn't mean you pay a free kick just because a player isn't looking at the ball, but it's an indication when there's no eyes for the footy that they're not going for the ball. So their intention is to cause interference, but they need to make some contact and put the player out of the contest for there to be a free kick. But it's a trigger that there's a potential free kick coming up. So in this instance here, he's not going the ball and he's making contact, and he stops the Golden Grove player from actually marking. Needed to turn around and look at the footy and have to go for the ball himself.
Players were slow to get back up because they're happy to tick off as many seconds from the clock as possible. Quick clearance attempt there. The second attempt, in fact, from Dylan.
In the end, the Goodwood Saints player realises he's not going to mark it and takes his eyes off the ball and makes front-on contact.
You're going to tip down.
And a good free kick paid. So here, good position from Smitty. Again, realises he's not going to mark it. Just puts his hand out and makes contact with the player and stops him taking the mark. And last one. Yeah, so there's two often paid, but this is a really good free kick from Ron. Ball's dropped short. And I think it's Foss Camden. No, Mitcham player would have marked the ball if it wasn't for the other player coming in, bumping it out. So a really good free kick from Ron. Aiming to be side on, keeping a distance and direct what happens are the keys for making good decisions at the marking contest. Any questions, comments on any of that? All right. Anything else before we wind up? Okay. We won't have a coaching video next Monday night. We are going to have a chat. The plan is to have a chat with one of our umpires. And this story is going to blow you away. I am really excited about having a chat with our guest next week, who has one of the most amazing stories you'll ever hear. In fact, there was a $500,000 spent on a feature film on this person. So you may know who I'm talking about. But it's one of those stories that, will be incredible. I really look forward to having a chat. Now, Gory, I see you're online. And Gore, do you want to just unmute yourself? I just want to check that there's nothing association-wise. Smitty? Any of you guys want to share anything about Umpire Association?
Yeah, Carl, I think drinks this week, and we'll go Schmitty with Schnitty end of the month, last Wednesday of the month, but we'll keep everyone updated. Probably time for another barbecue coming up.
Yeah, I heard there was no barbie this month with the buy, etc. Early next month will be the barbie. And we'll have another schnitzel night in a couple of weeks. All right.
Thanks, Carl.
Got ya. That's all. See you on Wednesday night.